What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic book review on Club Fix 1, 2, and 3 by J. Jack. Okay, so this is a re-upload. There were some things that I misunderstood prior to giving my review on Club Fix 1 through 3. So this is just kind of correcting the information that I had wrong and mentioning a couple more things. So if you've seen that review, this is just an update on mainly price, but some other things. If you haven't seen the review, just continue watching for the full review. I've just edited out the mistakes that I made, and that's why I'm doing this. So first off, there is no Club Fix 4 or 5. There's just 1 through 3. I had read something, there was a 4 and a 5 on the website that was a different project. So I misread that. And then also the price. So each PDF is $6. Not all three. So each PDF is $6. Each physical book is $14. So if you're just getting Club Fix 1, it is $6 for PDF or $14 for physical. If you're getting 2, same thing, or 3. And then you have the compilation of the 3 books, which is $25. Now, the shipping is a little bit different because shipping fees went up. So on the single books, it is $2.50 shipping, or for the 1 through 3, it's $2 shipping. Another thing is when you buy a physical book, you get the ebook with it. And then all of J. Jack's ebooks come with a money-back guarantee. So that is good to mention. And then one last thing is just the value that you're getting, whether you're getting a single book or the compilation. So some of the variations that J. Jack has come up with when it comes to these books. Like, for example, when I mention that, so for example, Paint It Blank and Club Sandwich with the gimmick cards that originally came out, I think those are $20 effects each, right? So J. Jack's variations allow you to perform similar effects ungimmicked for a lot cheaper, and able to do it more impromptu with this compilation. So like I mentioned, there's a ton of value in this, and I just wanted to correct some of my mistakes. What is Club Fix 1, 2, and 3? So this is a book by J. Jack that is based on his variations and handlings of the classic Club Sandwich plot. So you're able to get this through PDF or a physical copy. J. Jack sent me this book to review, and I just want to apologize for this taking so long to get out. I do promise everybody who sends me a review copy of something, I will get to it. Basically, 2022 summer was busier than I could have ever imagined, and then after that, October, I had a huge theater show to get ready for. I was sick all of September, and then came the holidays, another busy time. So I'm finally trying to get caught up with everything. So I just want to apologize. Thank you for your patience. Here we are. So I have the book. Personally, I like having a physical copy. I just find it easier to read. I don't love reading books on PDF, but again, it's all the same information. So if you want to take the cheaper route, then go for the PDF. So let's get to it. What is Club Fix? The Club Sandwich plot. So basically, quite some time ago, Club Sandwich was released, which is an effect where 2 playing cards are selected and the cards are shuffled into the deck, and then the first selection is found to be sandwiched between 2 jokers, 2 jacks, 2 kings, whatever, 2 aces. David Blaine also had a popular sandwich effect that he did on his television specials. But the Club Sandwich, you reveal the first selection, that's sandwiched between the 2 cards, and then ultimately you put that sandwich down on the table, and when you go to reveal the second card in the deck, it's not there, or you have the participant try and find the card in the deck, it's not there, only to show that the second selection is now sandwiched between the two cards on the table. So it's changed, right? So, kind of a few plots in there, like your Chicago opener type thing, but sandwiched. It's a good effect. Now, J-Jack's variations and handlings allow you to perform that effect without gimmicked cards. So when this was originally released, it was done with gimmicked cards, easy to perform. Whereas this, it's completely impromptu. It can be done with a borrowed deck on the spot. So that's a huge advantage. You don't need special cards. Now, with that said, there are some sleights involved, but nothing too complicated. Basically, like somebody just beginning in card magic, once you kind of learn basic sleights, you're pretty much good to go to continue on with an effect like this. Now, the nice thing about this book, I like how J-Jack has kind of organized the book, because the first few pages are just going over the different sleights, shuffles, and whatnot that you need to know. So he is laying out the groundwork in the beginning so that as you go throughout the book, you have the moves down and you just need to go through the routine, different handlings, different presentations. Now, I was watching Fiddlin' Johnny's review on this, and I have to agree with him in the fact that some books that explain card magic can be pretty hard to understand, just because there's a lot of reading, and I don't know, for me with card magic, it can be hard to follow. But with this, J-Jack has made it very, very simple to follow. There are great pictures with descriptions, and he's really kind of worded everything in the simplest way possible. So I was able to follow along in this book, and everything was crystal clear. So the first effect in Club Fix 1, now, like I said, there's three books in one here. The amount of pages, it's a 63-page book, so it's not an overly long read. You can get through this pretty quick, but it's to the point, right? So the first effect is just the basic club sandwich effect that I described there, and J-Jack goes over his handling, which is ungimmicked, so that's awesome. Now, everything in here is kind of based around that original basic club sandwich effect, with different presentations, different endings. So I think the third book is different endings that you can apply to the original routine. Now, so you'll have the basic club in book 1, and then you will have visiting the club. Then you'll have visiting club RR, which is a kind of a combination between an ambitious card and a club sandwich effect. And then after that, you have visiting the club again, as well as visiting the club RR again, but different handling. So a variation of the first. So, that's nice, because if you don't like the first handling, you can always go to the second if that fits you more, if that's easier for you. So he's really covered a lot of material in this book, different presentations, but also giving you options. He's done the work so that if you don't necessarily like certain sleights or moves or steps that are involved in the first, there's a variation, another one. So then after that, you have a 4-ace club, which is obviously a 4-ace kind of trick. So anybody who enjoys effects that involve the 4 aces, this is great here, because they end up sandwiched within the two cards, right? So pretty straightforward, but everything that he goes over in here is all really good material, very easy to understand. So book 1 is awesome. Now, Club Fix 2, the first effect is called Now You See It, which is a variation of John Bannon's Painted Blank. So you have the club sandwich effect with blank cards. So obviously that one can't be a borrowed deck. It can still seem somewhat impromptu, right? If you're doing other card magic and you do a deck switch, right? So just another variation on that, a different approach to the club sandwich effect. And then after that, you have 4 Ace Club 2, which is another ace effect. And after that, you have Not This Time, which is it's basically the original club sandwich with a interesting twist on it. So you have special cards in the sense that well, he calls them stranger cards, and they aren't special cards in the sense that they're gimmicked, but you have some blank cards in the deck that you write on. So almost kind of like instructions, or I don't really know the word that I'm looking for, but basically you turn over that card and it says something that leads to the next thing. So I can't really explain it that well. You'd have to kind of read it and understand the whole routine and how it works to really get the best idea of how that works. But it is a nice take on the club sandwich. It makes it feel different. It has a fun kind of a twist to it. So, if that's more your style, then, check that one out for sure. It's also going to engage a different audience. It might appeal more to people that aren't so familiar with cards. So maybe you are somewhere and you don't have a lot on you aside from a deck of cards, and there's kids around, they want to see some magic. I think that this would be a better version for them to see than the original club sandwich, just because it can be easier to follow. Then in book 3 you have 3 more effects. There is IR Club, which I don't know if I should say what IR stands for, just because maybe it's not intended to know, because it can have to do with the method. But what I can say is that it has a similar feel to, say, an invisible deck, right? Now, it's not using an invisible deck, it's not using gimmicked cards, but it has something that happens in the process that you would see in, say, an invisible deck, but with the sandwich plot. And then you have Radical Club, which has a number of changes in it. So different selections come up, change, and then there's a transposition at the end. So that's really cool. Again, the card magic that I enjoy doing is just simple stuff. Either happens in the hands or there's a visual change. I like that more than just showing maybe a set of skills. Like, I think that when a card changes, or impossible location, or you set one card down over here and then all of a sudden that card ends up being another card, like, I think that really kind of takes card magic and brings in an element of magic, different kind of magic to it, because you're not just showing a set of skills that you can find specific cards or assemble cards like ace assemblies, but you're also able to manipulate cards and change them and have them disappear or move from one place to the other. So I think that card magic like that incorporates different elements of magic within card magic, if that makes sense. So you get a lot of that with Radical Club. And then last in the book, you have Magnetic Club, which is where the spectator finds the 2 selections. So, that also that gets them involved, brings in interaction. Obviously, that engages people a little bit more, because now they're a part of the trick, they're a part of the magic. So that's really nice. So really, in short, these are all ideas surrounding the club sandwich effect. However, I don't feel like this is repetitive, because even though it's based on one plot, there is a large variety of differences and different types of magic incorporated within this book. So the quality, if you're getting a PDF, you know what a PDF is like. Quality of the book is very good. It's not a long book, like I said. The font size and the read is very easy to follow. So I don't think anybody with eyesight disadvantages are going to have a tough time reading through this. It's all very straightforward, very easy to read. Um, Things like angles, setup, and reset, obviously they're going to be different with different routines and different tricks, but your angles are really quite good in everything. With setup and maybe arts and crafts, there isn't really arts and crafts. It's just if you're doing some of the routines that involve different types of cards, then you'll have to get those, or if you have them, you'll just have to apply them to the routine. But other than that, there's no arts and crafts, and setups are all very easy. The difficulty level on these, like I said in the beginning, they are not too advanced. There's some different sleights, and there are some switches that are used within the routines, but they're all very well taught and easy to follow along to. So nothing overly complicated. Even if you're a beginner in card magic, once you've learned kind of the basics, you're capable of learning and performing what's in here. If you're intermediate or advanced, you're already going to most likely be able to do everything in here and then just kind of follow along. Is it a worker and who would use this? So, card magicians or just magicians that have a variety of magic that they perform, cards, coins, things like that. I think that the material in here is good working material if you are a close-up performer, or if you just perform card magic, or if you're table hopping or strolling, right? Nothing in here really needs to be specific to any environment or situation. And like I said, a lot of this can be performed with a borrowed deck, right? So yeah, that's another great thing with working material is, I mean, obviously if you're a worker, you're going to have your deck of cards on you, but if you're somewhere with a deck of cards, it's always nice if you can use a deck of cards that isn't yours. So I think that really enhances things as well. So is it worth your money? I already kind of went over the price in the beginning. I think that this is worth your money. It's material that once you learn, it's good, it's strong material, it's easy to do, and the amount of material in here and the variations, like I said, it doesn't all feel like a repeat, even though it is all based within the sandwich plot. You have aspects of Chicago Opener, Biddle Trick, Ambitious Card, the Club Sandwich Basic, right? So you can take what you want, or you can take multiple things and use it. So, for the PDF price, it's a no-brainer. Like, it's super, super cheap. And then, with the physical, it is a bit more, but it's to be expected, right? Because publishing and printing, shipping, all those things have to go into, what makes a book. So obviously it is going to be more. If you prefer physical copies, then go for the book. I'd say it's still worth the $25. You're going to get a lot out of this, and ultimately you are getting 3 different projects in one. So pros and cons, positives, negatives. I don't think that there's anything negative that I have to say on this. Basically, he's given you a lot of material and a lot of different options. So, you'll find something in here that you enjoy, if not many things that you'll enjoy. And the fact that it's all super easy to learn, very easy to perform, and hard hitting. I don't have any negatives to say on this. Other positives, like I mentioned, there's no gimmicks involved. So you don't have to worry about, I can't perform this because I don't have my special cards, right? Like, you can borrow cards. It's all good. So, I think that kind of covers everything at this point. So again, I'll leave a link in the description so you can go check this out, pick it up if this is something that interests you. Again, J-Jack, I apologize for the delay on this. He sent me this I don't know, probably 6 months ago. And, a lot of people might not admit to that, but I try to be transparent, and sometimes it takes time, especially with books, because it's a bit of a longer process. You have to read, you have to follow along, you have to learn. So books can take a bit longer, but there are a couple other people that are still waiting to have reviews done on stuff they sent me. And, I just want to be honest and truthful in that I am working at it. I will get it done. And I'm sorry I don't get to it sooner. I have a full-time job outside of Magic, so a lot going on. I have 2-year-old daughter, 4 kids total, a house to look after, right? And I'm not just making excuses, I'm just trying to be real with you. So anyway, thank you for your patience, and yeah, I'll leave a link in the description below. Check this out. He's put a lot of thought and a lot of work into this, and his efforts show. So with that, we will see you at the next review.